Hey everybody, Danny Maude here. Thanks for joining us. Did you know that with your irons and your driver, you don't have to hit the ball harder to hit the ball further? And I'm going to show you with a couple of simple changes to your swing. You could actually hit your irons further and straighter and your driver without changing your speed, trying to hit it hard at all. Super simple. Now, before I get into the video, look, if you're new to the channel, it's one of your first videos of mine, please consider subscribing. Just press that little bell button next to subscribe and you get notified every time I release a video just like this one. Plus, I always put a free downloadable practice guide in the description box below so you never have to remember a thing. Great, so let's show you how by swinging slower you can actually hit the ball a little bit further. We'll start with our irons and then we'll move to driver. So how do you go about doing this? It all comes down to your release and when you release it. See, if you are generating some serious speed but you're still not hitting the ball very far, the chances are you're either striking it inconsistently or you are presenting too much loft to the ball at impact. Thus, I've got an 8-iron here, you present too much loft, you're starting to turn it into a 9-iron or even a pitching wedge, so you're losing that level of compression. So what I want to do is using TrackMan here, I want to show you how you can start to kind of improve your strike and improve your compression through the impact area so that you provide less loft through impact, so the ball comes off much faster. And not only are you providing less loft, you're also in a strong position where you're using your body to put pressure into the back of the ball too, compared to, look, this is quite a weak position, not just in terms of face, but also the body too. Now, how do you do this? You have to keep remembering that the body leads the club head. The club head swings because of what you do from the ground upwards. Now let me explain how you go about feeling this. Now if you can, grab a golf club and do this with me. Feel the weight of the head, right? Then what I want you to do is this. Look at my legs and I'm going to move my pressure forward, back, forward. Okay? Now when I show you this, it's going to look like I'm swaying a little bit, but just bear with me. 1, 2, 3. Now that momentum is going to give momentum to the club. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. And notice already it's starting to organize the club. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. I'm starting, look, with momentum to already create some form of lag. Now, this angle, what we want to start with, compare that to this. If all I did was go 1, 2, watch the difference. 1, 2, 3. And this is what I see a lot, is people don't get this natural 1, 2, and then 3, so they end up getting behind the ball, fatting it, flicking it. So what I want you to do is count that rhythm with me, all right? We'll start small, and then we'll go to a bigger swing. 1, 2, and 3. And with an iron, we introduce the and. 1, 2, and 3. And these words represent the pressure shift in the feet. So look at this. I'm going to do it wrong first. I'm going to show you me going 1, 2, and then literally just releasing it and just show you what the difference is. Watch this. So 1, 2, release. So I've prevented a lot of loft. Now look at this. 80 mile an hour worth of club head speed. I've got a spin loft on the golf club there of 33 degrees and a carry of 133 yards. What I want to do, that spin loft, i.e. compression, that number needs to go down. When that number goes down, we should start to see the carry go up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in the 1, 2, and 3. Yeah? So I naturally start to get that handle naturally ahead. Let's look at this in action. So 1, 2, and 3. So look at that, 27 there, only slightly more club head speed, 80 miles an hour, just playing nice and soft, and 154 yard carry. So a lot more carry from barely any extra club head speed. So once we've started to kind of feel that timing, 1, 2, and 3, you can then start to build it up and start to add some more speed to it. And to do that, if you want to start to swing longer, build it up from the ground. So how does the club go up? Well, it goes up and around, doesn't it? Well, if the club is reacting to the body, what should you do with the ground? 1, 2, we need to pivot with the ground. So it's twisting the ground like I'm stood on a screw. I'm twisting it, I'm pushing up. Yeah? Now look at this. Push up, that gets some rotation. As I come down, I've gone 1, 2, and 3. I'm now it's 1, 2, and pivot through. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and look at this. I need to get back to the golf ball now, look, so I'm gonna pivot through. And the extra pivot as I go up and I push up off the ground, that is what releases the club. Just as you would do if you were throwing a frisbee, throwing a ball, we're gonna go 1, 2, and pivot through. This is what's gonna give you the speed after you've started to get the compression. So let's have a look at this before we go on to driver. So it's 1, 2, and pivot through. 1, 2, and pivot through. So a little bit extra speed on that one. 87 miles an hour there. So look at that there, efficiency. I've added speed, look, but my distance hasn't gone up massively. So let's see if we can get that kind of spin loft down a little bit more. So we get that compression back. 1, 2, and pivot through. There we go, look at that now. 165, 88, spin loft come down, got a bit more compression with that. So what it basically means on my last one, didn't get over the ball, as I said previously, didn't give me the distance. So let's see now what we do with driver. Driver's slightly different. What you want to do with driver is you want to release it a little bit earlier. So unlike an iron where you're trying to get much more over the ball so you get lots of compression, with a driver, if you want to swing slow and hit the ball further, you need to hit up on the driver. To do this, all we do is we make sure now is rather than going 1, 2, and 3, what we're going to actually do is go 1, 2, and then what we're going to do is we're going to actually feel like we're releasing down. So you're going to start to get the pivot, i.e. the twist in the disc here, or the screw and the pushing up. You're going to really push up here. So the release of the club happens, what you're feeling is much more behind the ball and down versus here. Now, what I'm seeing so often with golfers, if you're struggling with power and you try to put loads of energy in and you're not hitting it far, it's nearly always this. You're swinging back here, and then from here, look, you are simply turning through with your body. There's no fire downwards. Look where I'm going, down as I'm pivoting, right? That gets me good. Not only does it get me releasing the club naturally, effortlessly with speed, it also gets, look, the low point of the club behind the ball, so the club then goes up and hits the ball up off the tee. Versus, look, if you're doing this way, you're coming over the top of the ball, de-lofting the club and actually hitting down on the golf ball, losing power as well. So we're gonna go 1, rather than 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna go 1, 2, again, feeling like the club is always reacting to the body. Notice this, I'm not snatching it away, I'm not hitting it here, I'm 1, feel this gentle pressure shift, and I'm gonna exaggerate for camera, 1, 2, 3, and we're releasing where? 3. So it's a pivot, 1, 2, and pivot through. We're gonna pivot right there behind, feel like we're behind in the ball. So it's 1, 2, here, we're still going to this leg, and pivot through. 1, 2, and pivot through, and fire now here, not over the ball like you did with the iron. Let's have a look at this in action. Start small first. 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look at this. So 110 speed, 10 mile an hour worth of club head speed there. We got a tack angle of 3.6, which means a positive number means I'm hitting up on the ball, which is great. So if I start to see that, all I can do now is, it means my efficiency is in carry is 262. All I'll then do is to start to, if I want to increase that carry, is then start to work on increasing my acceleration with the ground. How do I accelerate this club? Do I hit it? No. With this part, no. What I'm going to do is really push harder with the ground up. And then look here, look, I'm going to push harder with that pivot to release that club even faster down. My shoulders, my arms, they're ready, they're passive, ready to be thrown downwards, and I'm doing it behind the ball, not over it, and I'm certainly not turning through. This just keeps the flat trajectory. Okay, so let's have a look at this in action. Add a little bit more speed. So 1, 2, let's have a look at that one there. There we go, 115 miles an hour of club head speed, tack angle 4.6, 271 carry. So that rolled out almost a 300. Now, what we would say is there, I could say we could still increase that. So all I do now is my efficiency is clearly going up. I just keep working harder and harder on the speed. By the way, not by going, and trying it here. These are always passive. It always starts initially from a slow beginnings. 1, 2, 3, and I really sense that release. Just that, how's that club releasing? Is it releasing because I'm doing this? No, it's releasing because I am extending, I'm pushing off the ground and pivoting here. I'm not turning here. That is what releases the club. Behind the ball here. It also, by the way, for the, if you swing over the top, this is over the top. Watch this. Never is that going to go over the top when you release behind the ball with a pivot with the ground. Bang, that's going to get you hitting up. So let's summarize really quickly. Organize the swing. First of all, allow the club to react to the body. Pressure shift, and yes, I'm exaggerating this just for camera. 1, 2, and follow through, okay? Then you get bigger. 1, 2, we want to get the club up, so we pivot upwards. 1, 2, up here, and pivot through. The club gets released because you are using the ground. You're pushing up off the ground. Golfers worry about pushing up because they think they're going to top it. You won't top it. Your body knows where that ground is. You've got to trust this. It's so, so important. That's your irons. Then work to driver. You simply release it a little bit more behind, a bit earlier here. That's going to get you hitting up off the tee, hitting up with driver with the same speed, hits the ball further. Once you've done that, just simply start to amplify all of it until you start to get longer and longer and longer. All right, so I really hope that helps. So give it a thumbs up if you did. Share it with somebody else who you think could benefit. I remember I actually put a free downloadable practice plan in the description box below, so you never have to remember a thing. I've also did a video last week which will complement this one really, really nicely. I'll put that right here. Go and check it out. And then another one that I did on the short game, which I'll put right there. Go and check that out. But until next week, have a great golfing week.